They're back 6-3, back into the win column with a big win today, 34-24 versus the New York Giants. And it was a complete flip of what happened last week against the Texans. And as Niner fans, we're feeling great again. 6-3, and we got a lot more football to talk about. Let's dive into it, baby. There we go. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Injury updates. We don't have injury updates right now. Welcome back to the First and 49ers podcast. I am back, everybody. Thank you guys for joining on Instagram, on YouTube. I was going to go live a lot earlier, but I was trying to set up my camera that I have. Actually, I've had a camera for a while, and I just actually got a new adapter piece, so I'm able to plug it in. So I'm able to stream now with the camera. So hopefully it looks great. Hopefully it's great quality for you guys. Let me know. Drop it in the comments what you guys think, chat. If it's a good camera quality or whatnot. Hopefully I'm actually able to speak right now. Hopefully you guys can actually hear me. Hopefully I'm not muted. Sometimes that actually does happen, but I think I'm all good. But anyway, guys, big win for the 49ers. It was devastating loss against the Houston Texans last week. And I was thinking, man, it looked like the injuries have finally caught up with the 49ers last week against the Texans. The Niners only had the ball for 4 minutes in the first half last week against Houston. This week, it was a flip of the switch for the 49ers. And what happened this week? What's up, Forever Cornhuskers on Instagram? The 49ers, they had to make some additions on the D-line. Bryce Huff went down with injury. Just the D-line injuries continue to stack up for the 49ers, and they acquired Keon White from the Patriots, and we signed back Clelin Ferrell, former 49er, who had a sack today. He looked really good. The pass rush was one of the biggest changes in this game for the 49ers. Last week, the Niners weren't able to touch CJ Stroud, and he was dicing up the Niners defense left and right with third, fourth string receivers. And I talked about it yesterday, I think, or on Halloween, actually, on the Red and Gold podcast. Last week against the Texans kind of reminded me of what Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers did, and they're a legitimate playoff team. The Texans are not very good. I think they're 3-4, 2-5, something like that right now. And they beat us, and they made us look like garbage. They made the Niners look absolutely terrible. So going into this week, it was going to be a little bit of a tough game because the 49ers or the Giants defense, they've got some good pieces. Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, guys like that. And fortunately for the 49ers, the game plan was a lot different than last week. The 49ers were only able to run the ball, I think, 10 times last week. The Niners were able to run the ball a lot. They had Christian McCaffrey have 28 attempts, B-Rob at 5 rush attempts right there. So right off the bat, that's a little over 30 rush attempts in this game, and that's the 49ers ideal mixture for winning football, and the 49ers were able to do that. Mac Jones had a fantastic game, 19 for 24, 235 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He got sacked 2 times, but it's all right. The Niners won it. Christian McCaffrey, like I said, absolute masterclass of a game, 28 attempts, 106 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 67 receiving yards, and 3.8 yards per carry. That's a total of 173 total yards in this game. Brian Robinson, 5 attempts, 53 yards rushing, 1 touchdown, 10.6 yards per carry. We finally got a little mini Brian Robinson breakout game for the 49ers, something I've been waiting for this entire season. And finally he got a couple things going for him, and B-Rob looked great today, guys. Niner Empire 16 _ yo, go Niners. What's up, man? Niner Empire 16, go Niners. Thanks you guys for joining on Instagram. Make sure if you guys want, go hop over in the YouTube chat over here as well. Like I said, I hope the camera quality is looking pretty good. I just hooked up my camera for the first time to my live stream, so it should be a lot better actually than my MacBook camera. So I'm really excited about it. And it took me like about an hour to figure out how to set the whole thing up, but I eventually got it done. But before we get into all this offensive stats and how great the offense looked today, I really want to dive into the defense for the 49ers. Like I said, the additions to Clelin Ferrell and Keon White was huge for the 49ers because the Niners were not able to touch CJ Stroud last week. And this week, the 49ers got 2 sacks on the day. They had a sack from Sam Okwinanu, and Clelin Ferrell, the 49ers' new addition. If you guys remember, Farrell was on the 49ers in 2023, I believe, and he made his presence felt right off the bat. He had a great sack. He did like a whole loop-de-loop, had to run all the way through the end zone, and what's his name? Jackson Dart didn't even see him coming, and it was a solid sack. It was a huge hit and everything like that. Tatum Bethune, 16 tackles on the day, and he was hitting hard. He had a huge hit towards the end of the game on Jackson Dart. I don't know if you guys saw that. When he went onto the sidelines and everything, he kind of fell down a little bit. He's feeling his left shoulder. So Tatum Bethune, fantastic game. But just talking about this defense overall, it was a little scary. The very first drive, they allowed the Giants offense. I think they had 10 plays or something like that. They drove down around 68 yards. Let's see, I have it right here. It was a long drive. 10 plays, 64 yards for the opening drive for the Giants, and they put up 7 points real quick. The 15-yard pass to, I think, their tight end Johnson, where Lenore thought thought the tight end stepped out of bounds, and he kind of gave up on the play, and it was a touchdown after that, just walked in. I was a little worried because that's exactly what it looked like against the Houston Texans last week, how this defense just was not able to apply any pressure. The coverage in the secondary looked absolutely terrible. This game, completely different. And it was huge because I believe of Clelin Ferrell and Keon White. The 49ers were actually able to apply pressure on Jackson Dart throughout the entire game. They got 2 sacks on him finally. And this is the 49ers stat line for each defensive drive. After the Giants scored a touchdown, it was punt, 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 4 punts in a row, missed field goal, which was huge for the Niners. And then they had a field goal after that, a punt, and then 2 touchdowns at the end of the game. The last one, obviously, was just garbage time touchdown. The one before that was a little more concerning because I think that's when they cut the lead down to about 10 there, I think. Or something like that, 20. So it was a little more concerning. But the 49ers defense played fantastic. Robert Saleh able to whip these boys back into shape. The biggest thing, though, is the 49ers are playing at MetLife Stadium. And we were talking about on the Red and Gold podcast, Ryan Taylor was like, this is not MetLife. This is Death Life Stadium. The turf over there is absolutely atrocious. And the Niners went through almost the whole game without a severe injury. And as what it seems like every single week, you're expecting who's going to be out for the rest of the season. And it's Mykel Williams, and we haven't even touched on him yet. Mykel Williams suffered a knee injury in the 4th quarter. And according to Kyle Shanahan at the end of the game, and this is just terrible news, it's likely that it's an ACL injury. Likely it's going to be season ending. And Shanahan talked to Mykel at the end of the game saying, hey, man, it's a tough situation, but you'll be back next year and this won't affect you next year. Basically what he said. And so they said, obviously the initial results of the testing for his knee was that it's an ACL tear, and there will be more testing tomorrow to confirm or deny, hopefully, that it is an ACL injury. Hopefully it is not, but it just didn't look good. I mean, it was a non-contact injury. It looked like, or he kind of just fell down, but it didn't, like, his knee didn't tweak or anything like that. So very concerning for Mykel. And that's just, obviously, that's what's been going on for the 49ers this entire season, right? And it's just bad because it's the defensive line that's been so depleted. They've needed to add more guys, and we got Keon White and Clelin Ferrell to add into that spot. But Mykel was having a pretty solid game. I didn't hear his name at all last week. He was applying a couple pressures on Jackson Dart this week, and just for him to go down at the end of the game, it's just a big bummer and another big blow for the 49ers defense. I mean, that's your 1st round pick overall this year, and now he goes down with a torn ACL. Hopefully it's not, but you know what I'm saying. It is bad. But the 49ers as a whole, their defense, they provided the pressure all game long, and that was the winning recipe. Apply pressure on Jackson Dart. He's a young quarterback. He's looked great this season so far for the couple games he's played in. And with that, the greater pressure became the greater coverage. Greater coverage in secondary. Renardo Green, I had it right here. Renardo Green had 2 pass breakups in the game. Tatum Bethune had a good pass breakup as well. He had 8 solo tackles. Upton Stout played a solid game, 16 total tackles, 4 solo tackles. Ronaldo Green, 6 total tackles with 2 pass deflections. And then Samo with the sack, Clelin Ferrell with the sack. So defense played fantastic. At the very beginning of the game, it was a little sketched out about it. It looked like it was the Texans. It was the 49ers defense against the Texans again. But they stood up to the task. And obviously this Giants team isn't that good, right? But it's a good pick-me-up game, and it's a game you needed to win. The 49ers are 6-3 now going into next week at home versus the Rams, who have looked just better and better and better each week. So it's a good pick me up, obviously, and it's a it's a kind of a scary trend the 49ers are going on, a kind of scary pattern because they've gone like win, loss, win, loss, win. Right now, we have the win with the Giants. So hopefully that pattern doesn't continue. Hopefully we break that pattern and the 49ers win next week as well. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But I was impressed with the defense, and it's just really bad. It's a huge blow that Michael Williams is going to be out possibly for the rest of the season now. But yeah, defense, I was very proud of. Shifting over to the offense, because I think that was the biggest thing to talk about for this game. Because what happened last week, the 49ers had the ball offensively for 18 minutes last week against the Texans. It seemed like the 49ers weren't on the field with the ball at all last week. And this week, completely changed the pace. They started off the game with a 70-yard drive, I think. They started off the bat hot. They were looking great. It was a long drive, starting on their own 32-yard line. So yeah, it was a 68-yard drive for the 49ers. They almost had a 3-and-out. They decided to go for it on 4th and 1, which is huge by Kyle Shanahan. 2nd and 13. This is what I want to talk about too, because I kind of talked crap about him, Jordan Watkins, a couple days ago. But Jordan Watkins got his first catch, and it was huge. It was 2nd and 13. He caught it for the first down. Great play by him. Way to hold on to it. And I think it was like a 19-yard gain for him. And then 3rd and 3 at the 5-yard line. Christian McCaffrey, obviously wide open pass for the touchdown to tie it early for the 49ers. So it was another Christian McCaffrey masterclass for the 49ers. Mac Jones, like I said, 19 for 24, 14 for 14 in the first half. Didn't have a single incomplete pass. At the end of the half, at the end of the second quarter, I thought it was almost an incomplete pass. The one, Brian Burns, it was a strip sack, I guess. They ruled it a fumble, so it didn't count as a completion or incompletion for Mac Jones. So that was the only scary play for Mac Jones in this entire game. But 2 touchdowns and 235 yards passing. Mac Jones continues to look great. And, cha-ching, cha-ching, that's all he's hearing in his ears right now, because after last week, after his 4th win with the 49ers, now he's 5-2. Every single week he wins a game for the Niners, the incentive money keeps going up for him. So he's getting, I think, $100,000 each game he wins. So congrats to Mac Jones on getting that money, getting that bread. He's 5-2 as a 49ers starter, and I'm just going to continue. I'm going to shove it down your guys' throats to tell you how many times Mac Jones is the greatest offseason pickup for the 49ers, maybe of all time. I don't know, maybe of all time, but especially in the Kyle Shanahan era, Mac Jones has been the greatest offseason signing. With Brock Purdy out, with any other backup quarterback in this 49ers system, we wouldn't be 6-3 right now. Mac Jones, certified baller, and I absolutely love him. And he continues to ball it. The dude had a bloody nose this time. It seems like every single game he's battling something. He's on one leg, he's on one shoulder, he's on 5 ribs, and then he had a bloody nose in the game. And that's just the epitome of Mac Jones. He faces the adversity head on. I mean, the Rams game, I think, was the best of the best for Mac Jones, getting pummeled after down, play after play. His pants were literally falling down. He's on one leg. He's dry even on the sideline. And this week, now we get Mac Jones. We get Mac Jones aura farming with the bloody nose and continuing to put up 235 passing yards, leading the 49ers with the most points this season that the 49ers have scored. They haven't scored more than 26 points until this game. They've scored 34 points in this game, 380 total yards of offense, 159 rushing, and that brings me to Christian McCaffrey, the workhorse, the guy who never ceases to amaze me. Shanahan said that he is definitely the most conditioned player of all time. 28 attempts, 106 rushing yards. And I think someone talked about after the game, because, it was the fourth quarter. The 49ers just had to ice it with like 40 or a minute left to go. I'm like, you got to take out Christian McCaffrey. The Niners need to stay healthy. I tweeted it out. The Niners need to stay healthy. Take out every single starter in this game. And Christian McCaffrey was still in there. But apparently, I forgot. I don't know if Shanahan said it or not. Someone mentioned it on Twitter. I think McCaffrey was a little under 100 yards rushing. So they had him in there to get over that hump, a 100-yard hump. So thankfully, he got out of there healthy. 106 rushing yards, 2 tutties. He had a receiving and a rushing tutty, 67 receiving yards, and 3.8 yards per carry, 173 total yards for Christian McCaffrey. And McCaffrey also made some history in this game. He's the fastest running back to hit 500, 500, 500 receiving yards, 500 rushing yards in a season this century. The last running back to do it, guys. And this is where Christian McCaffrey goes into GOAT category. The last person to do this, Marshall Faulk in 2000. This was on the broadcast today, the Fox broadcast today. So Christian McCaffrey just continues to amaze me. He also broke another thing of history. He had a one rushing touchdown today, obviously one receiving touchdown today. That's the 16th time in his career that he's done that. And that surpasses Marshall Faulk also for most all time in the NFL. Christian McCaffrey, best running back in the league, top 10 receiver in the league, and he's on the 49ers, and they're 6-3 right now with Mac Jones. You got to love it. You got to love the adversity that this team faces. And they just kind of shrug it off and they just punch it right in the face. We don't care that we have every single injury known to mankind. I thought after the first drive, I was like, man, like I was saying last week, the injuries on the defense is catching up to him. It's bad. Even this Giants team, they're 2-5, but they ran down the field on us like that. It didn't matter. It was one drive, and Saleh got the defense to adjust, and they dominated the entire game. 4 punts in a row after that touchdown drive for the Giants. That's what the Niners defense forced upon New York, and it was huge. Christian McCaffrey was huge. Brian Robinson Jr., 3 rushing I think this was in the fourth quarter. He had 3 rushes in a row. This is the most the Niners have used him all season long, and he looked fantastic. Like I said, 59 rushing yards, but he had 3 rushes in a row. I think probably 10 yards apiece. And the last one was the touchdown to put the Niners up 27-10 in this game. So 20 points in this game. I think that was around end of the third quarter, top of the fourth quarter, guys. So this offense is what is the Niners are going to need this offense to continue to play like this, especially going into the Rams week, because obviously, yes, this is a Giants team that's scattered with injuries as well, and the 49ers have just been able to overcome this adversity. But when you go face the Los Angeles Rams again, the Niners are 3-0 in their conference right now. When you go face the Rams again, it's going to be tough to sweep them. They've done it in the past, but the Niners have had super teams in the past. Now we're dealing with literally nobody on our roster. We're playing Mac Jones again. And I'm not going to lie. The last time the Niners played the Rams, I projected them to lose. I obviously take it back. It was one of the greatest games of all time that the 49ers played. But things are always different in division games. I guarantee it's going to be a close game for the 49ers against these Rams again. The 49ers are back at home at Levi's after this 2-game away games that the Niners had. And it's going to be tough. And the Rams are going to be ready for it. They're not going to have, it's going to be a completely different game plan than the Niners had the last time they faced the Rams. But what the Niners are going to need to do is play the same type of offense that they did this week. Why was Mac Jones so successful? Why was he 14 for 14 in the first half? It was because snap the ball, 1, 2, 3, get it out of his hand. 1, 2, 3, get it out of his hand. Mac Jones was getting the ball out as fast as possible, as fast as humanly possible in this game. And that's why he was so successful. Considering this offensive line last week, I think Mac Jones was sacked 3, 4, 5 times last week. He got sacked twice in this game. Luckily, though, for the most part, he didn't get his jersey dirtied a lot in this game. He was upright for most of this game, and Mac Jones, that's when he's most successful, getting the ball out of his hand quickly, not taking a lot of hits, and then this run game, obviously, it didn't look good last week. The 49ers, if they continue to be able to shove the ball down running backs defensive throats like this, it's game over practically. Last week, the 49ers only rushed it 10 times. And that's the only thing, too, that I'm very concerned about. The 2 weeks that the 49ers run offense actually went off a little bit, actually was successful, was against the Falcons defense. They were 16th in the league in run defense. The Falcons were. Christian McCaffrey had a masterclass there. George Kittle was finally back in the run blocking game, which was huge. So that's why I thought the Niners were going to be able to take that over into the Texans game with George Kittle. But that offensive line was just getting absolutely run through by Will Anderson and guys like that. And the run game looked like pre-George Kittle, and the offensive line just absolutely looked like doo-doo. Fast forward to this week now, the 49ers run game looked fantastic again, but the Giants run defense is ranked dead last in the NFL. So that's the only thing that concerns me. And this is a good Rams team that we're facing again. And I don't know what the game plan necessarily is going to be, but that's just kind of the things I'm thinking about ahead of time. The Niners need to be successful on the ground. If they're not going to be successful on the ground, you can almost guarantee that the 49ers offense will stall because Mac Jones, he's I feel like he's kind of like on thin ice considering like injury wise. I'm really scared that one more big hit for Mac Jones is gonna end it for a while for him because he's been getting hit almost every single week, and I'm very concerned about it. But they got to be able to keep him upright. Got to be able to run the ball more than they pass the ball. And if you can run the ball a lot, then you're going to give Mac Jones time in the pocket because now defenses are going to have to try to cover the run and the pass. And that's Shanahan's formula for success. If you're able to run more than you have to pass. So as long as you keep Mac Jones upright, it's good news. And speaking of offensive line, Spencer Burford went into this game today. He was the starting left guard for the 49ers, and I think it made a huge difference. I don't know how many pressures he allowed or anything, but it was a relatively clean game on the left side of the line for the Niners. Trent Williams and Spencer Burford. I thought Burford came back finally from the IR this week. I thought it was like, okay, because he's a left tackle, so he's usually the backup left tackle. I was like, well, that's not really going to make a difference for this team because we have two healthy tackles right now. But he actually replaced Connor Colby in this game, who has been struggling. He is a rookie for sure. Had a couple, he's had some highs, had a lot of lows as well. Spencer Burford going into this game looked solid. I didn't have any complaints for Spencer Burford whatsoever. I forgot who it was. I think it was Colton McKivitz that allowed Brian Burns to get free on the right side, which Colton McKivitz is sometimes hit or miss. Obviously, the Giants have great pieces on the defensive line, but Brian Burns was the one to hit the ball out of Mac Jones' hands and create the fumble towards the end of the second quarter. What's up, the faithful Den _? Nice to see you here. 49er Media, what's up, dude? If you want to hop on, let me know. I can send you the link. 49er Media. If you're not busy or anything, we talk about it. Talk about the Niner game a little bit. If you're not busy, if you're still on the live. I just lost track. Spencer Burford, fantastic game. I thought for the most part, 49ers offensive line looked good against a great pass rush by this Giants defense. But once again, the Niners were running the ball a lot, and that's usually the method of success for the 49ers. And obviously what happens when the Niners win ball games, that's usually what happens. So I was impressed by this offensive line. Hopefully it looks good next week going into the Rams game. Injury report is basically just Michael Williams, which is decent news. I mean, bad news that Michael Williams probably tore his ACL. Decent news that I think he was the only injury in the game. So it wasn't multiple injuries at the Death Life Stadium. After the game, Shanahan was asked about Brock Purdy and his toe because throughout this entire week, Purdy was practicing for the 49ers. And it was a question of, will he be able to suit up and be the backup quarterback for Mac Jones? And Shanahan said that wasn't even going to be, Purdy wasn't even going to be close to being active today. And he talked about his turf toes. Like, yeah, he's still working back from it. And it's going to be an issue probably this entire season. He's going to be having that nagging pain the rest of the season for Purdy. It's just a matter of how healthy he can be before he can actually finally come back for the 49ers. And I've tweeted it out before. I said I wouldn't even be surprised if we don't see Brock Purdy the rest of this year, because after re-aggravating it against Jacksonville, I mean, it's as easy as one bad tackle for Brock Purdy, and he's going to be out for the rest of the season anyway. Let Mac Jones ride it out. If the 49ers continue to win games, Mac Jones has been playing at a quarterback one level. He's been playing fantastic for this team. Don't take him out if he's continuing to play how he is. If let Brock Purdy be the quarterback too until Mac Jones begins to struggle, or until Purdy is literally 90% healthy for the season to go back in. But I'm happy with Mac Jones riding out the rest of the season, maybe until the playoffs. And Brock Purdy, that's another, was this week 9? So we got like 6 more, 7 more, 8 more weeks, something like that. And get Brock Purdy ready to go for the playoffs, because that would be huge. I don't know. The run game. This is what Shanahan said about the run game as well in the press conference. Okay, what did I write here? Wear them down. Wear them down. It was a huge deal to the team. My writing was bad on this, but I was trying to write down his quote. And Shanahan also expressed that this game plan, or the way the 49ers were able to run the ball, was very similar to Atlanta, to the Falcons game. And that's kind of what I brought up earlier, is that this run game, the way the 49ers won was fantastic. But again, the Atlanta Falcons run defense was 16th in the league. And today against the Giants, they were 32nd in the league. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out against the Rams next week on Sunday. So overall, it was a great game. I'm happy with how the 49ers performed, put up 34 points in this season. If you ask me how the 49ers are going to continue to win with now Michael Williams out, the trade deadline, November 4th, that's on Tuesday. The 49ers, I think they need to make a splash. They got Keon White this last week. They got Clelin Ferrell, which obviously helped humongously in this game. Now down Michael Williams, another defensive lineman for the 49ers. Go big or go home, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. Go get our Kayvon Thibodeau, who was extremely unhappy after this game today. He said that their defense played absolutely terrible, which he wasn't wrong. Go get someone like Jalen Phillips off the Dolphins, Bradley Chubb off the Dolphins, Trey Hendrickson. The 49ers, the Bengals lost this week. Rich is in the chat. Heat game plan, too many points given up late. Great. Rich, you want to join? Join for a couple minutes before I'm going to get off pretty soon. But if you want to chime in here, we got Richie, guys. Richie in the chat. Heat game plan, too many points given up late. And the points given up late, the last one obviously was garbage time. The one before that was a little more concerning, but yeah, I agree. It was a little too many points given up late, but that's why the 49ers offense has to continue to put up 30 points a game the rest of the season, because you can't expect the 49ers defense to play great the entire season, especially the tough opponents that the Niners are going to be facing. The Panthers just won today. They're 5-3, 4-3 now. The Bears had a crazy game against the Bengals. They're 5-3 now, 6-3, something like that. The Niners got a tough matchup. They got a tough schedule the rest of the season after what seemed like was going to be a very easy schedule for the 49ers. But I don't know, man. It's exciting to see that the 49ers are 6-3. The fact that all the injuries that they've had this entire season, and Mac Jones has been the game changer. But like Rich said here in the chat, need a game changer, especially on defense. Go get Trey Hendrickson. I know he's a little banged up right now, but the Bengals just lost. They're 3-6. I mean, maybe he's available now. I saw a thing earlier today. I think it was Jay Glazer said that Trey Hendrickson is now available. Now the Bengals are actually listening to offers. So I don't know how much weight there is to that. And that was also before the Bengals lost today. So could be interesting. I got to look up other defensive ends that are out there that could be game changers for the 49ers. The Titans, they continue to lose as well. Get someone like Jeffrey Simmons, I think. And I mean, Arden Key is kind of like the Clelin Ferrell. Send link. All right. Let me see how I can figure this out here. How do I send? Can I send the link in the chat, or actually, no, I got it. I'll send it to you via, via Messenger. Guys, we're getting Richie Rich in the chat and in the podcast coming up in a couple minutes. Great news. Great news. All right, Rich, I just sent it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting the famous Richie Rich and his fantastic 49ers coverage. Rich has been, I know you guys have been with me for a couple this whole entire season so far. You guys know Rich. I love having him on my show. See if we can pull up any other stats here. George Kittle. Okay, I'll say something about George Kittle really quick. He had 4 receptions, 32 yards. It looked like he was kind of banged up earlier in the game. And I didn't want to bring this up to my dad at all earlier because I was actually absolutely terrified. I had a dream. Actually, I don't even know if I should say it. I should just say it was really bad about George Kittle. I'm not even going to put out in the air because it was really terrifying. And I had a dream about it. And I hope it doesn't actually come true. I hope that dream, it was a nightmare. So I hope the nightmare didn't come true or doesn't come true the rest of the season. So, that would be very concerning for the 49ers. But it was Sky Moore had a reception in this game as well, which is kind of crazy. Mac Jones spreading the love to everybody today. And then obviously Jordan Watkins, who I was getting some heat on. And here we go. Richie Rich. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on, man?
How do you feel about this win today?
It was okay. It's you know what? It's in the season you're supposed to win the games you're supposed to win, and that was this.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to put it. This was a hold on, let me try to get this so I can see what's going on. There we go. Yeah, so that was it. It's you're supposed to this was a game we were supposed to win, and they won it. It
Yeah.
wasn't, they did what they were supposed to do. CMC played well. Um, I worry about Kittle. Have they confirmed anything on Michael yet? I've been looking. I mean,
Just that the preliminary tests are looking at an ACL injury, so we'll find out tomorrow. He has they get an MRI or something on it.
yeah, because I saw him walk into the locker room after the game, and he didn't. I mean, he had a little bit of a limp, but he didn't look like.
I mean, look at Nick
I'm
Bosa.
hoping.
He was doing heinies on the field when he tore his ACL.
Oh
So, I know.
man, that was horrible. It was
Yeah.
just horrible. And right at the end of the game too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did he really need to be out there still? Ugh. I guess
Exactly.
that'd probably be the only argument as far as that play goes. Did he really need to be in that game?
Yeah.
The rest of it, they did what they're supposed to do. CMC had a great game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Defense was after the first drive, they settled down. That was the thing. The first drive, I was nervous after the first drive. I'll be completely honest there. I was
Me
like,
too.
well, how are they running down the field on us like nothing?
Yeah.
And with a backup running back and here we are. They just right down the field. That was alarming.
No, I thought it was
And
gonna
then
be the same repeat as last week. The way that first drive went, I'm like, here we go again. But they made the offense punt 4 times after that. So
yeah,
it's
which was good.
yeah.
Yeah, going into the half, and then even going into the half, I was surprised that Kyle for that pick or whatever. I was surprised Kyle actually was actually running plays at the end of the half. Usually that's a spot where he usually takes a knee
Yeah.
and just goes into the half. So that I was kind of surprised there.
Mm-hmm.
That's uncharacteristic of him. Like that's probably the second game this year he's done that,
Yeah.
where usually he takes the knee and he was like, okay, at least he was trying. It's the end of the half, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, I think the rest of it was okay. I mean, it was cool to see Cleveland Farrell get out there and play.
Yeah.
Um, I was listening to the game. I wasn't watching it. Was Burford playing left guard?
He was playing left guard today. Yeah.
That's the move.
Mm-hmm. It was
That's the
solid.
move.
See, I
Is
didn't
in,
think he was gonna play either because he's our backup tackle. So I didn't think they were gonna move him to guard. But I mean, it worked out. Sit Connor Colby out. He's a rookie, but hasn't played great.
that means that what that means is Pleasance is going to be the swing tackle instead of just playing right tackle, like the backup for right tackle, because that was the goal, was to
Yeah.
have Burford be the backup left,
Mm-hmm.
have Pleasance be the backup right, and have him not jump back and forth. But I think that was a really good play to throw Burford in guard. I think he's really a guard anyway. I don't think he's a tackle.
Mm-hmm.
His arms are too short, and he isn't quick enough laterally to keep a guy pushed off.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty good. Other than that, I mean, like I said, it was a game you're supposed to win. They won it. So,
Right.
I mean, if as long as they win the rest of the games they're supposed to win, we're in the playoffs. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I don't have a lot of confidence in the game next week.
I mean, I didn't have any confidence the last time they played the Rams, but look how that ended up. I mean, I think it's gonna be tough because it's hard to sweep because the Rams have been playing so much better than the last time we played them. But I think it'll be a close game again.
And they're healthier than us. I mean, although Nakua, I guess, went out in the Rams game. I guess Nakua went
Yeah,
out, so
he had a
that's
chest
something to think
injury.
about.
Yeah, yeah. Looking at our
So
schedule though, we play the Panthers. So we play the Rams, Cardinals, which is always tough division. The Panthers, who have been playing a lot better. The 4-5-3 now. Um, Browns at Cleveland, and that's always I feel like a trap game for the 49ers for whatever reason. And
their
then we
D always plays us well.
they do, yeah. They have Kyle Shanahan's number. It seems like the offense never clicks when we're playing the Browns, but we got a tough schedule coming up. I don't know what. Tell me about Brian Robinson. What do you think about that? He actually had 5 attempts today, 53 yards, had the touchdown. They put him back to back to back plays, and he scored a touchdown on the third play that he was in.
I was shocked. I was shocked. CMC must have been tired or something,
Yeah,
because that's the only thing I can think of. Because there's no way that normally happened. I was like, how's he in the game? I'm thinking that CMC's hurt or something.
Mm-hmm.
When I see someone go in the game more than that, I was like, ugh. But he played well, and I mean, even after the game, Christian kind of was in the comments, at the post game press conference, was like, he's been really gutting it out. And it was really good to see him get there and play today. So I
Yeah.
wonder if he finally went into Kyle's office this week and said, "Hey, dude, am I playing? Am I not?
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
I have a role here?" And I think they really gave him a chance, and it was well done. It was well done. I mean, I'd like to know what's going on with Kittle. You
Yeah, I
know,
think he might be alright because he played the rest of the game. I think maybe his knee just got banged up a bit, but I didn't see anything. Shanahan didn't say anything about injuries 'cause I feel like he usually brings up all the injuries in the game. He didn't even bring them up except Michael, so
well, that's because he was so happy about the win.
yeah.
It's so tomorrow you'll see his Monday press conference, and then all of a sudden it'll be, and he'll always save him to the end. He'll be
It'll be like 3 more
Michael,
hamstrings.
yeah, yeah, well, hamstring, blah blah blah, and then it'll be Michael ACL, Kittle, high ankle sprain.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, Kyle's always good for that. It's like, come on, dude, don't do that to us.
I know.
Giving everybody a heart attack.
Yeah. Jordan Watkins also had his first reception of his career, and I know I was giving him flack on Halloween, saying he should have caught that one. Is definitely arguable about the one against the Texans, but he had his catch, and I like to see not Sky Moore, Jordan Watkins get a lot more receptions or a lot more targets at least going into the Rams game. What do you think?
He's our only speed guy. That's the
Mhm.
only reason that you need to get him out there, because the rest of the guys, they're all slow, big guys. They're all 4.6 and slower guys, and
Yeah.
Watkins is the only guy that's got any kind of speed.
Mhm.
There's a guy that can take the top off the offense and open things up. Maybe the running game's a little better if we can stretch it a little bit, and that's the biggest, my biggest concern. Well, and the thing I'd be happy about is let's get this guy on the field more.
Yeah.
Even Sky Moore had a decent play today.
He had a catch.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy that Sky Moore is getting more, shots at playing than Watkins is. It's like, come on, dude, come
Right.
on. Our returner gets out there.
Mhm. Brian Robinson too. The past 2 weeks, also, he's looked good on the kick returns. He had another one. Shannon in the press conference, also, he said, "I don't know why he didn't kneel the ball. I was going to get ready to get mad at him, and he shot up to like the 40-yard line on the kickoff." So I'm excited to see him continue to do that because he did that last week too. He's looked good.
Robin's looking for a chance to be a game changer.
Yeah,
So the fact that he's out there doing that, he's like, look, I got to contribute somewhere.
yeah, exactly.
Let me contribute. If you're not going to give me any carries, at least let me do something, because
Mhm.
he is a difference maker.
Absolutely.
That's the biggest piece. He is a difference maker, and it's good to see that. If you're not going to use him in his regular role, at least get him in a spot where he can, help the team and field position, especially with this, you know, up and down as this offense has been. It's good to, if we can change field position, it's maybe one less first down they have to get a touchdown or a field goal.
Yeah.
It's the little things, but it definitely makes a difference in the game.
Do you think after the way he played today, we'll be able to see more, maybe hopefully a little more split backfield with McCaffrey and Robinson, especially against the Rams, going into the later half of the stretch of the season, you got to keep McCaffrey healthy somehow.
I don't think so in the Rams game, because if we get down in the Rams game, Kyle is just going to go all CMC. That's kind of
Mm.
what he does. That's kind of his MO.
Yeah.
If the game got out of control and we were losing bad,
Mm.
I would love to say, hey, Christian, dude, just sit this one out, dude. We need you next week, or
Yeah.
we need you the next 3 weeks. Let's look. We've Kyle's done his. I've done my best to break you. You're still here. Let's let B Rob get some carries and finish this game out and get you ready for next week. That's
Yeah.
the treat the game that way. I mean, if we're playing hard with him, if we're playing neck and neck with him, there's no way Kyle's going to pull him off the field. He's just
Mhm.
not. He's so good. I mean, I'd love to see them run some sets where they're using those two, pull Juice off the field,
Yeah.
use those two in 22, and use Tonjes and Kittle and B Rob and Christian,
That's a
because
heavy
I
set.
think that makes us lethal. I
Yeah.
think that makes us lethal.
Hmm. A lot of blocking. Anybody can get the ball in that situation.
Yeah, and I think the defense really has to think.
Yeah.
You really have to think when you've got that many people on the field that can make a difference, can make a catch. And then also we got to find out, is Brock coming back for this Rams game, or are they going to hold him out another week?
Yeah. That's
I mean, the way Kyle was talking after the game, it didn't seem like they were in any hurry to throw Brock out there, which I'm okay with at
me
this
too.
point.
Yeah. I mean, he
You know,
practiced this entire week. I think he was limited the entire week, and there was talks about him being the backup for Mac Jones, which I mean I would be okay with, and that's what they were kind of saying. I think after the game too, is you saw when or did you hear when Mac Jones at the final snap they let Adrian Martinez do the kneel down? They're saying that might be because he might be off the team next week. Purdy might be ready to go to be at least the backup. So
or he'll be practice squadding it because they're going to need the spot. You
yeah.
know, unless they want to keep him around as emergency third string. But has
Mhm.
he been around enough weeks that where they can't practice squad him now? That'd be the only.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, honestly.
Yeah, I'd have to see how because it'd be interesting to see what they're going to have to do with him
Mhm.
because then when does Curtis Rourke's practice window open up?
Right.
Because
That's
then
true.
there's the other one. Then
Mhm.
there's your problem. Because then if once Rourke's here, if he's healthy,
Yeah.
is there really a spot for Martinez? Because you're not going to cut a guy you drafted for
Mhm.
a guy you pulled off the street. At least
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Probably not. I would assume, yeah, they'd probably stick to the guy they drafted, but I don't know. Eddie Pinheiro also had a 54-yard field goal. He continues to be money. Um, we didn't have to use Eddie P that much this game. The Niners were actually scoring points. I think we're 3 for 3 or something like that in the red zone. I mean, that's one of the biggest things the Niners needed to clean up, and they finally did it today. Jennings had a Jennings had a touchdown pass, I think, touchdown catch. McCaffrey,
Yep.
and then B
McCaffrey
Rob.
had two, and McCaffrey
Yeah,
had two, and B Rob had one.
Anthony Brown, B Rob, and then Jennings. Do you think there was talks? Do you think Jennings might be a trade candidate?
If it gets us a defensive end, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And I think we're at the point now. Look, he's done for the year. I mean, as far as we're not resigning him,
Mhm.
let him go. Let him go. Earn the chance to go make his money, and then we can get a player out of it too. I mean,
Yeah.
worst case scenario, wherever he signs, we'll get a comp pick out of it, so it doesn't matter. So I
Mhm.
think as long as a team was willing to give us whatever we expect the comp pick to be, which should probably be a third rounder,
Yeah.
I'd be cool with that. But I'd like to take somebody off the Giants or there's all the talk about the three players for the Bengals,
Mhm.
including Hendricks and the linebacker, and I think the other guy was the safety. I looked quick.
Yeah, I
I
think
didn't
one of
really
the
read.
safety or corner. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do we need a corner? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't think so. I feel like I think it's the line, I think is just what you need to beef up.
Yeah, we need D linemen. I mean, I wouldn't hate an extra linebacker either if they're not going to play Martin.
Right.
To get a proven linebacker, that wouldn't be terrible.
Mhm.
Especially with, I mean, didn't Bethune go down for a little bit today? I'm
Uh,
trying to remember because, like I said, I was listening to the game, so I was like, there was one
I think he
spot
was in
where.
there for the entire game. I didn't see him go out. So,
So I mean, but we are thin at linebacker right now,
yeah.
because they obviously don't trust Martin enough to play him a lot.
Mhm.
So that's a concern as well.
Yeah.
But if we can do anything that's going to beef up the line, I mean, I thought Keon White played pretty well today.
Yeah, me too.
He was disruptive,
Mhm.
which again, that's all you can ask of him.
Yeah.
And that dude's a killer athlete, man. That guy can play.
Mhm.
That guy can play. I think he's really gonna in like 3 weeks, we're gonna be, oh my goodness, this guy's great. Cleve Farrell, good game,
Yeah.
sack. Um, that was cool. It was neat. I mean, and I think what's good about him is I don't think he's played much this year. I think he was mostly practice squad.
Yeah, I played
So
one game, I think, for the Chargers, so he's fresh.
yeah, so I think he's fresh when all the other guys are, hey, 10 weeks in, he's only played 1 week. So,
Mhm.
it's amazing what fresh legs can do for you.
Mhm. Do you think in order for the Niners to be Super Bowl contenders, they need to get like a Trey Hendrickson, like one of those guys, like you said, a game changer earlier in the chat?
I don't know that that's enough still.
Mm.
That'd be my biggest thing. We'd have to see him, and then I got to see the defense for 2 games because
Yeah.
I don't really feel like this team is that right now. I don't feel like we're one or two players away from being contenders. I mean, the NFC is not great this year.
Mhm.
I mean, there's probably only four decent teams in the NFC, and we're one of them, maybe
Yeah,
five. Um, but I don't think we're better right now. I mean, I think we're the third best in our division.
really. Yeah.
Between
Oh, yeah.
between the Rams, Seahawks, and us.
Yeah. I would definitely
You
it's
know,
most hurt for sure, so
Yeah, because really, if you think about it, it's Rams, Seahawks, us, Eagles, and who? Lions, maybe?
Lions, Packers. The Packers just lost today, though.
Yeah, I, I
The
think I
Lions
think
just
we can
lost to
play.
the Vikings too.
I think we can play with the Packers. I don't think we could play with the Lions if they're running on all cylinders.
Yeah.
But I feel like we could play with Eagles maybe. But the Rams and the Seahawks, they're the hardest two teams that in the NFC that we've got to go against, and we got to play them one more time each. So
Yeah.
we'll find out.
Yeah.
Those will be the litmus tests. But because even at the beginning of the year, even uninjured, I thought we were still. I figured we were second, not third. I didn't think the Seahawks are actually better than I thought they'd be this year.
Yeah, I think so too. But what about you say you don't think we're 1 to 2 players away? What if say we get Trey Hendrickson? All right, that's one player, but then you get Ricky Pearsall back, who was playing great before he was injured. You get Brandon Ayuk back. You got your 2 top receivers right there, and then either you get Brock Purdy back or you continue to have Mac Jones. Mac Jones will have Mac or Purdy will have Ayuk now out there, Kittle, Pearsall, um, who else? Tonjes,
Yeah.
Jennings.
So then those players, that makes us the team that nobody wants to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That
Mhm.
team that sneaks into the playoffs, they don't win the division,
Yeah.
but you're a wild card, and all of a sudden you're playing well. We're the Giants back in whatever year that Eli, decided to turn it on.
Mhm.
We could be dangerous like that.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know that we're deep enough. That's the problem. Even if you get Hendrickson, we're still our depth's all gone too because your tour he's done. He's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
So I mean, with Farrell, I mean, we'll find out what's going on with Michael. I mean,
Mhm.
that's a big piece too because he has played so well this year.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, he definitely lived up to any expectations I had for him. Some people are like, oh, he's not maybe doing enough pass rush. I'm like, guys. If Bosa was here this year playing,
He'd be
you
wreaking.
wouldn't even care. You wouldn't even care
Yeah.
because the only problem Michael is having, he's having contain issues on the run
Mhm.
because he's getting locked up inside and he's not keeping his outside contain.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's the only gripe you can have for him this year.
Mhm.
Other than that, he's been phenomenal, taking up double teams, causing havoc. Nobody's pushing him around. Those you can't ask for more. You can't ask for more. People that are looking for the him to automatically be a pass rusher, they're just not being realistic. They're like, well, at the number 11 pick, that automatically is a prerequisite that you should be a pass rusher. And it's like, no,
Yeah.
dude, you got a 21-year-old kid who is just stuffing people.
Mhm.
You
He's only
know,
gonna get better in the pass rush too. I mean, that was his strong suit, his run game. So the run stop. So they know that. They knew
yeah.
that too when they drafted him. Also CJ West, he was a healthy scratch today, so he'll probably not be a healthy scratch next week. They'll have to play him, I'm assuming, considering now Williams is going to be out, and then Marquis Siegel also was a healthy scratch. I thought our safeties looked good today.
No, yeah. Tig played pretty well today.
Hmm.
Um, I think he got beat. I think he got beat on that touchdown, didn't he? Wasn't it him
Yeah,
that got beat on the
I
touchdown?
think it was him on that one. Yeah,
Yeah, but he's played pretty well. He made a couple of good tackles in the game,
yeah,
and I don't know. I like him when he plays deep.
hmm,
It's he's really good. Um, he's good coming forward. He's not good going backwards.
yeah. It's just not
And
fast.
lateral or backwards, he's not good. But when he's coming forward, that's when he's his best. When he's either stuffing for a run fit
Hmm.
or whatever. If he's got deep and he's just ball hawking,
Yeah,
that's where he's at his best. And I think they've done a really good job of trying to scheme him into positions that suit his skill set, which I think that's why he's been in over Siegel because Siegel's been there right there on just about every play,
yeah,
and but he's still getting beat.
hmm,
He's still getting beat all the time, and I think you know and I think they like the fact that Tig's kind of a tweener. He's
hmm,
kind of a tweener. He's big. He's big for a safety. He's small for a linebacker,
yeah,
but he's doing pretty well. I mean, I think he's only like 210 or 215, so he's light compared to even Martin,
yeah,
but he's big for a safety.
yeah. I do like him in the spot for sure. Um, do you have any big things that stood out to you that you want to talk about, or anything glaringly good or glaringly bad from the game? I didn't see anything
Um,
glaringly bad, but
no, the glaringly bad's Michael. That's
Yeah.
it. I mean, there's nothing in the play. Like I said, this was what you wanted. You win the game you're supposed to win. I'm gonna echo it.
Yeah.
We have a lot of those games left. I mean, you talk about the Panthers game, talk about the Titans.
Mhm.
Those are games we should win. So where are we now? What are we? 6-2,
6-2
6 and
right
3,
now.
six
Yeah.
and three. Yeah. So 6 and 3. We only got to win 4 more games to be at 10,
Yeah.
and you can see them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You run down the list, you can see them.
Yeah.
Panthers game should be a W.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Titans should
Titans
be
should be a
W.
W.
Cardinals should
Cardinals
be.
should be a W. So there's 3 more right there. There's 9, and
Mm-hmm.
then let's wild card the Browns game.
Yeah.
The Seahawks and the Rams games. Even if we put those as L's, let's just put those as L's and
Mm-hmm.
make that 5 all of a sudden. And then what are the other two?
We got the Colts and the Bears.
Colts lost today.
Colts lost today to the Steelers. Bears won today against the Bengals. But
You
that last
know,
3 games, right? The Colts, Bears, and Seahawks, that's now looking like the toughest stretch for the 49ers. So you gotta, like you said, you gotta win the games you need to win. So you have to beat the Panthers, you gotta beat the Titans, you gotta beat the Browns right there.
yep.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
So does that that's 10-6, 11-5.
Yeah,
Where I had us at 11-6 when I looked at the season at the beginning of the year.
me too.
They're not all the games haven't laid out exactly the way I thought they would be.
Mm,
I thought the Seahawks game at the beginning of the season was going to be an L. We won that one,
yeah,
and then I think I had the Jags game as an L. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look, but
yeah,
it didn't lay out exactly the way I thought. But we're right there. But I thought we were a one and done in the playoffs. I didn't think that the way this team's constituted that
mm,
there was it's just the depth. The depth was my issue. It was like,
yeah.
can we do it?
Playoff team, but not Super Bowl contender.
Yeah. And like I said, with healthy Pearsall and Ayuk healthy,
Hmm.
we could be pretty scary.
Yeah,
And that's one of the reasons why I don't mind trading JJ, because think about it. If we've got Ayuk and Pearsall and
hmm,
Demarcus Robinson and
yeah,
Kendrick Bourne,
hmm,
do we need JJ?
right. Get
Not
something
really.
you can.
Yeah, and Watkins is just sitting there.
Hmm.
So why not just trade him?
Yeah,
Because Pearsall's under contract, Ayuk's under contract, Demarcus Robinson, I think, has signed a 2-year deal with us. So he's on the books for another year with us. Kendrick Bourd's going away at the end of the year because he's only on a 1-year deal. So, and then all of a sudden Watkins just moves up, and maybe if Jacob Cowing decides to make an appearance, one of these times,
yeah.
maybe we'll have him. So
Mhm.
me, like, JJ is just a bargaining chip at this point,
Yeah.
because he slides down the depth chart. And for the guys that love him, look, I can't say I don't like him, but you can see that he's like our 4th or 5th guy now.
Right. Exactly.
Once those guys come back, so why have a malcontent on the team? I guess that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's
Yeah. I mean, once you get those guys back, he's more valuable as a trade candidate than on your team. So at that point, why not use him to your benefit in that way?
and it's kind of weird though, because I think this week, I don't know if you saw in the interviews with him, you could tell he was kind of feeling a little wishy-washy. Oh man, I love this team and I love being here and da 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 da. I think he overplayed his hand
Hmm.
as far as when he was trying to negotiate the contract and all that stuff. And now he's like, oh, oops.
What have I done?
Uh,
Yeah.
now I think I might have gone a little too far. I can't go back now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm overthinking a little bit, but I think that's where he's at, because you could just tell he's feeling pretty nostalgic and going, uh-oh,
Yeah.
I'm out of here now.
Yeah, adios.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm like, look, sometimes, just like Debo, need to change your scenery. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Go ahead. Enjoy
Dennis,
your peace. Give us a pick.
JJ does stuff that other wideouts don't do. Yeah, but that's the thing. Once you get more receivers back, though, you're going to get these guys that do the same thing that Jennings does. It's like Demarcus Robinson, he's the bigger body, and then you got Jordan Watkins or Ricky Pearsall, who's got great hands. So it's like 2 receivers. JJ is basically 2 receivers in one, I guess, in a way. But I mean, I think JJ is just expendable.
You know what? He's just losing out in the numbers game,
Yeah,
especially if Mac keeps playing. Mac throws to Kendrick Bourne. He doesn't throw to JJ.
yeah,
Now, if Brock jumps back in, he might throw to throw to JJ a little bit more, but I don't know. I think Brock's just going to throw the guys open.
Yeah, exactly.
And JJ's a really good contested ball guy, but he hasn't been this year. He hasn't been this year. He's had drops that characteristically he hasn't had problems with.
Yeah, he had the
And
bobble last week that ended up in an interception.
yeah, so it's tough. I think as fans we get attached to guys that we like and that have had good moments in the organization and stuff like that. But remember that this organization traded away Joe Montana, let Jerry Rice walk.
Yeah, they don't stay attached to their players. And
You
that's
know,
one thing. Yeah.
let Ronnie Lott go away. Let Roger Craig go away. The team doesn't stay. And they can't.
Yeah.
That's the piece. They can't. You can't. It doesn't work, especially in the salary cap era. I mean, think about the Niners are doing this pre-salary cap.
Right.
And
Yeah,
now with the salary cap, you just can't keep the guys. You can't keep everybody unless you have a bunch of guys that are willing to stay with the team because they'll take less money and say, hey, you know what? I'm in a really good situation. Yeah, I'm not making $20 million a year and I'm making 12,
yeah.
but I don't have to move. I'm in a place where, it's
Probably
a good
winning.
situation for me.
Yeah.
Plus you can make money off the field, in endorsements and stuff like that, especially when you're in a market where they like you. I mean, Boobie Dixon's been coming back to this place for 10 years and he hasn't been around, and he was a role player at best,
Yeah.
special teams player, and got a carry, twice a season.
Yeah.
And that guy still comes back and everyone's like, Boobie,
Yeah. Loyal
I don't know.
fans. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody loved him, but he wasn't really a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good rah-rah guy.
Right. Well, I mean, Niners win 34-24. I thought it was a good way to get back on track going into the Rams game after this 2 away game stretch. Hopefully the Niners continue to keep the streak going, or not a streak, but hopefully they start winning more games. They were the past couple games, I said they've won, lost, won, lost, won. So hopefully we break that streak and go win, 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 or something like that. But thanks, Richie, for joining. I appreciate everybody in the chat. I am thinking about having a show hopefully tomorrow. I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit, Rich, in a couple minutes. Thank you, Demos45, for joining, Steven Navarro, 1235, and everybody else, Instagram, YouTube. Make sure to follow Richie at Rich Bonsall on X. Make sure to follow First and 49ers, first on YouTube, X, Twitter, TikTok, everything. You guys know the deal. Thank you guys for joining. Great win for the 49ers, and see you guys later. Have a good one.
Stay faithful.
Touchdown! San Francisco!